You may ask, what are the odds, right?
What
are the odds? Well, that's why we're here to answer those questions.
Now, I can still hear me,
We
just
don't
so you
care
know, but
if
that's
you win
fine.
or lose the game.
I do.
Yeah, I got you. You're up.
Now here's Eitan Shea.
All right, now let's do it for the first time. Really. For the first time that you're concerned with, let's do it. And hopefully you've put a bow on that tournament. It was one of the worst tournaments we've had in recent memories. Get it out of here. See ya. Now, I don't know what was happening before. I don't know what's happening after, but there will be no more tournament talk on this program moving forward until next year's college basketball season. It's no knock on Michael Calabrese or any of the other great minds, because we'll talk to Mike maybe even tomorrow, as I see that he's put out his master's pick for Saturday Down South. Phillies tonight, they're going to lose. Just prepare yourself for it, all right? They're not going to beat the Mets now as the Mets start to get into this mode. They got really, 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 really lucky last night. And if nobody else is going to say it, if nobody else wants to offend the Phillies fans or not seem like they're 162 for 162, anything, you can be objective, I promise. I know the Flyers fans, and I don't know how nervous or temperamental or just sweaty Phillies fans are right now, but I can tell you after what I heard from the reaction and what I saw from the reaction yesterday, 4-0, 4-0, great, but you got lucky. The team got super lucky that the Nats and Mets series was canceled, and so much disruption fueled by analytics caused DeGrom out. That was not a real Mets lineup that we'd see either. You want to look at the first three games against the Braves? Go ahead. Nobody's going to take anything away from you. But, man, stop. Stop with what DeGrom threw 77 pitches. Stop. He was taken out because he hadn't pitched in 10 days. Matt Moore was taken out because he stinks. The bullpen. Francisco Lindor looked like it was the first time in 3 years he's picked up a bat. Stop. Just stop. They're not going to win tonight. They're going to lose tonight. And you might as well just jump on it right now while you can. Because otherwise, you're just going to be a fan at this point. You taking the Phillies tonight, you're just a fan at this point. Admit it. Admit it. That's all that this is about. There's no betting angle here. Value. Okay, there's value everywhere. I can give you a bet at plus 2,000. You're going to take it just because it's value? No, because it's not going to hit. So you're not going to touch it. But please, if we can at least look at this honestly, there is no 5-0 for the Philadelphia Phillies. That's okay. That's all right. But what the hell are you doing? What are you doing betting on a fifth starter tonight? What are you doing stepping out and anything like that where you're just doubling down? That's all you're doing. You're trying to ride and double down on this feeling of elation that you were managed to look at the start of the season 4-0. Joel Embiid's back tonight. So we have a couple of things to look at. As you know, things start in the second hour for us, but the first block here as we go from the daily ticket into the evening action. This and then the line change coming away at 8. But the play for the Phillies and Mets is anything we can do on the Mets for the first 3 or 5 even. I mean, the money line first 3 Mets, okay, minus 159. But what about just looking at the spread, 165? How about the lead after 5 innings? Minus 121, I can take that. I can definitely deal with that. Mets minus 121 with the lead after 5, I'm good there. Now, if you really wanted to push it, I think what we could do is also double up and go under 4.5 runs, total runs, first 5 innings. This is a big push because we now have another question mark out there starting. Another one. So even that regard, let's see how that kicks and pushes. I don't know. If you were just to look at one specific bet with the Mets and Phillies game tonight, I would say go with the Mets minus 121 lead after 5. If there is something else, if there is another element to it, then I would stay away from it unless you're going to go under 4.5. Even the total is too much. I think even the total right there would be too much. All right, we're live. We have the stream up and running, but we'll have to fix it on Twitter. I don't get Facebook. People rip Facebook all the time. I never stick up for it because nothing ever makes sense. I mean, Facebook is, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but Facebook might actually be worse than Twitter. So there are 5,000 people. I get this thing about this cap. You know, you need to create a new page because you're capped out with friends. So apparently, despite 5,000 people following along, it won't even tell me if anybody's watching it. So we might just turn the stream off at this point because why the hell? What's the point of broadcasting on a platform where it can't even be seen? Same thing with Twitter. I stop even putting stuff out because the analytics will tell me that nobody's seeing it. I'm operating at like a 9% of followers that'll see my tweet. 19 some odd followers, and it's capped because I've noticed this now paying attention over the last couple of weeks. So it's capped, and I'm sitting there. No matter how many people unfollow or follow, it stays at the same number, which is physically impossible, of course, because that's not the case every single day. We know that to be. So I'm capped for whatever reason. And then from there, what I find hilarious is there are certain things that won't even be seen. Like the majority of things I'll put out will be seen by impressions. I'm not likes, retweets. I don't care about that stuff. I'm just talking about impressions. That means times it's seen by somebody on Twitter. And I'm working at around 900 to 1,000 impressions per tweet with 19,000 plus people follow. Same thing with Facebook. So algorithms now have taken over. And unless you are a verified account, you're at the mercy of these algorithms. So some idiot who also has a radio show that is verified is not doing anything better or bigger or beyond, but because of the algorithm and how the program works, you're stuck. You're stuck behind multiple systems that do everything to hide your stuff versus push some guy with 890 followers. Not that that's good or bad. I'm just saying verified through their own work. And now they're getting benefits of somebody who should be looked at multiple times over. And I'm not talking about me. I can give you 50 people who have way more than I do that are also subject to it and at the mercy of it. So who the hell even knows at this point? I can't even tell you if anybody's even on Facebook or the other one, Twitch, watching this damn thing. The whole thing with Periscope is you would think that putting it out with the access of about 19,000 plus people to watch it. But even Periscope, I'll look at that, and the impressions are about like 2,500 on the video. So math doesn't add up by any means. That's why I have turned to now just attacking and making fun of people on social media. Like that's my new thing now, is somebody comes out with something serious and I just dilute it. Like, you're an idiot. Why would you even come on this app? And I completely derail serious stuff on Twitter. That's my new thing now. Because that's the message. That's the message that has been sent to me, which is it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see your stuff. So, all right, I'm going to go out of my way. People retweet like stupid stuff in my time. I report it all the time. And what I found out is that if you report somebody's account as hacked, they actually do have to go through multiple hoops. In some cases, you can get that account removed from Twitter. So that stupid joke that you thought was hilarious that you retweeted, I reported that account as hacked. And hopefully that account now has to go through multiple hoops, maybe even gets taken off Twitter. It's great. I love it. I love social media now that I've learned how to weaponize it. It's hilarious. Phillies right now at plus 310 to win the first inning. Plus 310. Now the draw is not bad at minus 103. But plus 310 would be something right there. Tempted to roll with the Mets. Minus 121 lead after 5. I mean, the spread at minus 1.5. That's spread after the first 5 innings. Minus 1.5 at plus 155 for the Mets. Now, if you're like me and believe that what happened was a total, I can take that, major fluke. I can definitely deal with that. Hold on a second. That's not what we don't want another one of me out there on the radio. Trust me. So I had to fix that really quick. But
oh, I thought that was great. I thought you were having a conversation with yourself.
No. That trust me,
we're off and running here.
I had to stop that really fast right there. No, because I went to the Facebook page to see, and there's like no way to tell. There's no way to tell if anybody's even watching.
I love it. I love social media now that I've learned how to weaponize it.
See, now I can throw stuff back now.
I had to stop that really fast. Right?
See, now I don't know.
I think that's great radio.
That's just me going back.
People forgot what you just said 2 minutes
exactly.
ago.
Exactly right. It's amazing. No, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but can put something out there, and I see people that have like 100 or 200 friends. Same thing, and it's being seen. It's being seen. So I just don't understand why I can put something out. Like I put a post out on Facebook, ripping Facebook, tagging Facebook, ripping it, saying, you're all idiots, just to see what would happen, right? Just to say, why are you on here? You're all idiots being on here, right? Just to see if that would get any type of look or reaction to it. And nothing. And meanwhile, I'm scrolling through my timeline to try and get down to this video right here. And I'm looking at there are about 6 or 7 people here who don't even have in like 200 to 300 total friends, and there is constant interaction. So I'm wondering at that point if that's just Facebook rubbing it in my face, saying, see, this person who put out, like Facebook is full of these stupid memes. I'm so done trying to help people. You know what I mean? Like 90 comments. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, am I doing something wrong here to where it's not even being seen? And then I thought, all right, well, then let me go out and say something inflammatory, not ignorant or hurtful, but something inflammatory. And that didn't even work. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here on social media, why all of a sudden there is a majority of stuff that just doesn't even get seen. It's wild. You would think, right? But such is life. Unbelievable. I tried to actually I do have a lawyer working on a class action suit, and there are a bunch of verified people actually that have jumped on this to where there's a class action suit being drawn up to sue Twitter. And apparently a lot of people have taken Twitter to smaller claims courts and have won as a result of their suits, because why the hell would Twitter go through and do all that? So instead, you can line up, and hit me up at Shander Show. DM me if you're interested, and I'll add you to the list. And we could all sue Twitter and have fun as the thing breaks down from the inside, because it's not real anyway. Phillies are plus 115 on the money line. No. That's not going to be the play there. Braves and Nats right now, bottom of the 7th. Nats trail 5-4. They're plus 270 right now on the money line. Astros and Angels also going at it right now, bottom 8. That game's tied. Man, Astros are minus 107 right now on the money line. And, I don't hate it by any means. I wonder, though, if you were looking at the Nationals, the Braves just broke that tie. It was a 4-4 tie. The Braves just broke it in the top of the 7th. So as we hit now this bottom half of the frame, you look at it and think, how much is there going to be a shot really for the Nats to come back, especially as you get into closeout mode for Atlanta? You're really 3 half innings to tie this thing up, to take the lead. And it's in the process of shifting right now, but that's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. That's insane value down a run, where even if you get out of this inning without scoring, you still have a pretty good shot of staying in this game if you could just hold Atlanta off. So the Nats, and I'm waiting for this thing to reset, at least on the money line, but the total sits at 11. If you like the Nats, if you were going to play the Nats at plus 270, then wouldn't you also go over 11? Now, the good news is that you are in push mode with those two, so that's good. But wouldn't you go 11 at that point? I would. Knowing that the push is in effect, knowing that, again, this is only if you're taking the Nats, and even their run total sits at 4.5. This could be an easy three-way play where all of them hit. This could be one of those three ways here. Nats are at 220, so they've dropped by 50 points. It's going off the board again. So as it updates, knowing, of course, pitch by pitch, as things update, we'll update it as well. But, that could be one right there, I think. 180. See, now it's down to 185. Look at that. It's dropped nearly 100 points. Told you. The over has moved now to 11.5. So you lost all the value. It's gone. And the Nats total is now 5.5. So as the Nats continue to get closer, I mean, look, it's dropping precipitously as we speak. It's now down right there to, well, it was at least to plus 160. Just that alone was enough to push it out there. Man, once this thing comes back, it's basically told you to stay away. There was a small little glimmer of value that you could have jumped in there, but I think ultimately it's just telling you to stay away. Hilarious. I'm looking at this. We'll chat with Ryan Ballinger coming up next, the Golf Newsnet, and he does great work covering the game of golf. He's been on this show many a times. And I'm laughing because I saw somebody else, I think it was Will Gray from the Golf Channel, put out a tweet about how Justin Thomas, it was like this, I don't know if he's sponsored or if PointsBet pays him or whatever. I mean, he's not up here. So I think it's always hilarious when you have these books come in and put commercials out like Iverson stepping over somebody in a bar and pander to us and then wonder why they're not a leading book in the area. Huh. Well, I saw this thing about how, I guess it's PointsBet, how Justin Thomas has dropped to plus 800. Why are you betting Justin? Like, this is what I don't understand. If you're PointsBet, you're treating us like sports betting just happened when it became legal. Seriously. I think that there are some books here, and they're one of them, not the other ones that are on us. The big ones, it doesn't happen like that. You notice it doesn't happen with DraftKings. It doesn't happen like that. Barstool, Fox Bet, and they're smaller than DraftKings. FanDuel, DraftKings, doesn't happen with them. Doesn't happen with the ones that recognize that you need some sort of anchor in this market and not just putting up a commercial of some legend stepping over a pasty dude like me in a bar. I mean, is there anything stupider than watching those guys, including Iverson, walk into the bar? Dun-dun, dun-dun. No wonder why they got him at plus 800. I'm looking at it right here. He's at plus 1,100 on Barstool, plus 1,200 on Fox Bet. Who in their right mind would go to PointsBet and play Justin Thomas at plus 800? What is wrong with the only person who would do that is somebody who's brand new to sports betting and doesn't understand that you can shop. And I got to be honest, people in this area have been betting a long time before some app or casino made it legal. Before Barstool came, and before Fox Bet came, and before DraftKings and FanDuel were just doing fantasy, people were betting. You can't treat us like we're idiots, man. Not in this area, in this region. You got these sites, these PicksWise, these other sites. I see this promoted thing. It's the same tweet about this mega parlay. It's been promoted in my timeline for the last month. You got to hit a little more than one parlay. You got people with 160 followers from Sewell, New Jersey, touting picks. Please, I mean, you need to have some understanding of the area in which you are trying to infiltrate. You can't hire somebody who nobody has ever heard of in the middle of an area in a state that nobody has ever heard of for people that live in that. Nobody down in Atlantic City, nobody who's going to these books, nobody who's using these apps now religiously is trusting some dude they've never heard of because their guys never heard of him. It's amazing. It seriously is amazing. I think people, honestly, and you can see, that's why, you can see why these certain books are struggling while like nobody's heard of these sites before. It's crazy, man. People continue to pander to us in this area like they have no idea what this area is about, how provincial and small this area is truly. And that's not a negative, but that's just who we are. And then on top of that, treating us like we don't understand where value can be shopped, treating us like plus 800 is an insult. That is an insult when you have 300 to 400 points of value elsewhere in multiple books. And that's what upsets me. Because I get it, it's us versus the book. But that's the type of stuff that really gets me is when you have one or two outliers trying to get over on us because they treat us like idiots. You drop the value. I don't care how much money you took in. One book took it all in. Great. Then by making it public, you've just lost the rest of all of, and I would imagine anybody who's worth their weight in sanity betting money on Justin Thomas. It's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous how they look at us like we have no idea what we're doing. And as a result, like,
People
here, take
even
money, take our money. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to lose elsewhere and that another place, but 1,100, 1,200, a consensus play, and then you have one going under like that to 800 or 900, that's insulting. And I bring it up because hopefully you've been warned now and you realize, okay, this is for the guy from New York or from Maryland who's lived here now a year or two. This is for somebody who is a transplant. This is somebody from Harrisburg that is now in Philadelphia. This is somebody from Iowa who has moved and lived here for the past 10 years. I can't imagine being from here and gravitating towards that when you realize that you've basically been ripped off with value. Ripped off with value. Crazy, right? Crazy. But don't worry. Some person you've never heard of with a minimal reach and the only reach in the state of New Jersey is going to tell you who to pick. Some guy from North Jersey, Wayne, New Jersey, who has no reach whatsoever in social and online. It's not just about Twitter, but online. Somebody you never heard of was like the first person to apply 3 years ago on the site. So it's like, oh yeah, we're going to keep rolling there. We're going to keep rolling. And people wonder why stuff like that doesn't fly here, doesn't work here. It's amazing. I mean, it truly is amazing how this thing works, but you constantly get gamed unless you know how to shop the value. And sometimes it's not as obvious as PointsBet being the only one out there dropping Justin Thomas 300 to 400 points. Sometimes you really have to shop for that extra half. You really have to shop for that extra run. You really have to make the effort to do your homework. It's not just smack dab in front of you in that case. So there is something I think to it. Really. All right, quick one. We're back. Ryan Ballingy, Golf Newsnet's going to join us about the Masters as we get you ready for it. And I told you, it was one of the worst college basketball tournaments we've had in recent memory. And somebody out there needs to say it. Phillies aren't going to win tonight. Sixers will. No problem laying the 2 in Boston. We'll see if you have a problem with that. Ryan Ballingy next. What are the odds? I had to check that for a sec. What are the odds? Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler, presented by Cure Auto Insurance.
You're clear.
All right. People here who don't even have... They won't let me respond. 200 to 300 total. I had to check that for a sec. It's weird that I can't respond.
So you want me to call, his name's Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan.
Hold on one sec.
And I'm just going to double here too.
How long is the break double?
This one would be shorter than the end of the hour break. Like a minute. Cool.
Uh,
All right.
1 second. Let me give you his number.
You're good.
This is so stupid, man. Let me tell you, Twitch was the biz. Hold on.
I just took out one of the promos too in this next break to make it a little shorter.
Okay. Hold on 1 sec.
So you still have like 5 minutes.
I do. Hold on. All right, I just texted you his number. This
Thank
thing
you,
says
sir.
one person. I'm fuck this. I'm not doing this stupid thing. This is ridiculous. I mean, seriously, like YouTube. I don't know why I'm doing anything other than YouTube.
I love how preoccupied you are with it. It's driving you nuts.
Well,
You
no,
sound
here's
like,
the
you
thing.
sound like a boomer.
Here's